Meanwhile, the President of the United States has taken to Twitter. What he's trying to do is he's trying to win over some Republicans from voting against him. Right now, it looks like 15 Republican senators have misgivings about the emergency declaration, where the president, as you know, has declared an emergency on the southern border so that he can take some money to build some walls. He was busy on Twitter trying to make his case.
Yeah, he says they're stepping on, or they say he's stepping on the power of the purse. This is what he tweeted. He said, Republican senators have a very easy vote this week. It is about border security and the wall, stopping crime, drugs, etc., not constitutionality and precedent. It is an 80% positive issue. The Dems are 100% united, as usual, on a 20% issue, open borders and crime. Get tough, ours, meaning Republicans.
And the thing is, the Republicans have cover because the reality at the border, if you see what's going on for the humanitarian perspective, if you see the numbers that are coming through in terms of families, let alone the odds are, the percentage of criminals that are coming through and the drugs that are raging, you would think they would stand behind the president in this case because there's a strong constitutional argument by none other than sometimes critic of the president, John Yoo, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General. He says it is constitutional what the president's doing.
What they want is a different kind of law to apply to President Trump than has been applied to all previous presidents, because what they're doing is trying to claim that a statute, not a constitutional power, President Trump is exercising a power under a statute to declare an emergency and then to transfer money from military construction projects to the wall. Congress gave that power to the president, and Congress can always take it back. But what Congress really shouldn't be doing is second-guessing a president's decision that the national emergency is there in the first place.
There are a couple of Republican senators right now, Ron John of Minnesota and Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania. They're trying to come up with an alternate resolution to support the barrier, but at the same time discouraging him and future presidents from declaring an emergency declaration. Meanwhile,
by the way, if they get to 20, they'll override his veto. So it's going to get to the president's desk. He'll have to override his veto. They'll have to override his veto with 20 Republican defections, and then they'll have to do the same thing in the House. So it'll be really politically problematic for the president to get that type of rebuke from his own party.
What I was going to say is Republican senators are telling the administration that there's enough money in this year's budget to cover the almost $6 billion he wants for the wall, so he doesn't need to resort to the emergency declaration, which would just cause a lot of problems for people moving forward.
Some of them are in a tough position because they want to vote with their conscience. They want to support the president. They want to support the wall. But at the same time, they don't want him to step on the power of the purse. We're going to have Senator Josh Hawley, who supports the president. He's from Missouri. He's going to be live with us at 7:15.
Knows the law and Attorney General in his own right. A quick thing on this in particular is that if the president, this is going to work its way through the courts anyway. So even if they voted for it and the president didn't have to use his veto, it was going to actually go through the court system. So it's going to end up in the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the president just wants to be able to keep building the wall along the way.
So for him to be out there on Twitter today just trying to limit the damage, because at this point he does not have the votes.
All right, let's hand it over.